Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I know I have been a defaulter. I don't come very regularly. It's because I thought I put almost everything there. What else do you want to know? But I keep getting the messages and I keep getting a lot of topics I need to cover. So as and when I find time, I will try my best to come and help you out. For all those people who have just come for the first time to my channel, let me reintroduce myself. I am Lieutenant Dr. RITA GANGWANI, a personality transformation and a pageant coach. And I normally train pageants for national and international level. And very humbly, I would also like to say, I'm the only pageant coach in the world to have received World Book of Records for training various types of pageants like deaf, blind, wheelchair, plus size, transgender, petite, and a lot more. So with 40 years of experience, I'm sitting here today to be talking to you about your pageant journey. So one thing which I have recently discovered after speaking to a lot of students and hearing a lot of introductions which you prepare for the pageant, I thought enough is told about how to prepare an introduction. But nobody's ever touched on the topic what should not be in the introduction. When kids come with the introduction, sometimes I actually tear my hair because I think that, oh my God, if they are going to present this introduction to the jury, how do they expect that they will ever clear the audition? See, introduction is your first impression on jury. They have never seen you before. This is the first time they're getting to know about you. And this is a visual resume. Whatever you are telling them, they are visualizing the whole thing about you. If you say that I am a go-getter, then they would imagine a person who's a go-getter. If you think I'm well organized, artistic, optimistic, the way you're describing your personality, you're creating that image in their brain. So there are a lot of things which should be there in your introduction, and there are a lot of things which should not be there in your introduction. So today I will be telling you what are the things which should not be there in your introduction. Keep it together. So number one, maybe you are very good with your English language, but it's not necessary that everybody who's going to hear your introduction is very well versed with English language, right? You are reaching out to a common man also. Amongst the audience, there'll be all kinds of genders, age groups, profiles sitting. Of course, the jury who's sitting and who's the decision maker will definitely know the English language very well, but you need to also connect to the audience. So if you think that you have excellent hand in English, that doesn't mean that you start using very hi-fi vocabulary, very difficult words, you know, putting it in your introduction, feeling that, okay, if I use these words, it'll impress the jury that I have great communication skills. Communication, commune means common. When you are talking to people, you should speak in a common language. So do not put in too much of technical language, jargon, too much of very difficult vocabulary in your introduction. Keep it common, keep it simple for anybody to understand what you're trying to say. You may be, as I'm saying, very good in English. People can make out the way you speak. It's not necessary that you have to add such difficult words that people have to open a dictionary to see what you mean. So that's the first thing I would like to tell you to avoid in your introduction. Number two, that your introduction should be correct. Don't lie. Just because you want to impress the jury, don't lie. Don't think people who are sitting in front of you are fools. They can see through you. More than your words, it's your body which speaks. And when you lie, there is some signal or the other from your body which will indicate that you're not comfortable saying what you're saying. So there is this disconnect between your words and your actions. There is no congruency, and it can tell people that whatever statement you just said is not right. And even if they believe that it is right, maybe they question you about it in your personal interview, and then you get caught, because when you find yourself being bombarded with questions on questions about that particular thing you lied upon, then there are chances that you will get caught. And just one lie will completely spoil your image. So tell the truth. Do not try to impress the jury by writing things which are not a part of your life or your personality. Number three, a lot of you start your introduction, myself, so and so. Myself, it's grammatically wrong. Never start your introduction with myself, so and so. It's always I am so and so, or my name is so and so. And this is the first sentence most of the people say. And starting with myself is going to create a lot of uh, doubt in the mind of the jury that maybe you're not very well versed with the language, or there's this grammatical mistake. So it's not so difficult. I know it's become a habit for a lot of people, but you need to be conscious never to start this sentence with myself. Number four, don't be too verbose. That means don't ramble on and on and on and on and on. And you're just going on and on and on about your life, and people are not interested. People just want the highlights of your life, the bullet points of your life. Nobody wants an autobiography right from your childhood till what you are now. So please do not ramble on and on and on. It's very, very irritating for the jury who has very limited time, and they're sitting there with patience listening to your whole life story. This doesn't work. So keep it short and keep it simple. Number five, don't make your introduction very pageant patty. Maybe you're working for the cause of mental health. So you start talking about mental health, you put quotes about mental health. I'm here to work on mental health. Mental health is this, mental health is that. No, please, no. This introduction is okay, fine. You told them in just one sentence what is your future plan and why are you here. But don't go on and on and on about just trying to sell that beauty with a purpose. They want to know more about you, your personality. So please don't have very pageant petty, I am a pageant petty type of a very pageant related kind of introduction. Number six, avoid grandiosity, avoid showing off, avoid being a very proud person. I am this and I have done that and I am ye and I am wo. So do not show your superiority complex as you speak. People can make out that you have that ego and pride in you. You need to be a people's person and a humble person. So very subtly, very humbly talk about your achievements. So avoid too many I's, right? Merge the sentences. You don't have to use too many I's in your introduction. Number seven, avoid unnecessary things. Avoid, what I'm trying to say is don't tell everything about you. Keep a mystery. Just an example, let's say you've gone on a date and you're meeting somebody for the first time. You would always want to put your best foot forward. You're not going to tell them intricate details about your life and what you're going through. And standing on the stage or talking to the jury, you're saying, just day before yesterday I lost so and so in my family, he was suffering from so and so. It's not required. It's not a part of introduction. So choose what you want to tell them. Nobody wants to know these unnecessary details. You're wasting your time. Very, very important that just pick up the most important points you want to highlight. A lot of people also use their introductions to tell their sob story. I know we all go through a lot. I'm not making fun of anyone's misery. Even I have gone through it. You have gone through it. This, that. Everybody goes through ups and downs in life. But in an introduction, remember, a beauty queen is a role model. She has to show resilience. She has to show how she's jumped back from something in her life as a victor. So do not look for sympathy. Do not present your story where you are trying to look for sympathy votes. Nobody is going to give you sympathy votes because everybody suffers in this lifetime. Everybody has a different story to tell. But when you tell them what happened and how you recovered in very simple sentence that from being bullied for my skin and for this and that to be standing here confidently and facing you at a beauty contest, I have come a long way. So you have very subtly told them about some suffering you had and how you are standing here overcoming them as a survivor, as a victor. So don't look for sympathy in your introduction. Another mistake a lot of people do is telling their age. It's not required. Every pageant has a specific age group, and everybody knows that unless the organizer tells you that you have to specify your age so that the judges get to know which category, which normally happens in Mrs. category or something, where you are of a certain age group and they put you in that particular bracket. But when it comes to Miss India, Mr. India, Miss Diva, we know a particular age bracket. So do not waste your time by talking about your age there because they already know what age bracket you are in. Another mistake is a lot of people bypass the time. Every pageant decides how much time will they give to the contestant for their introduction. It could just be an opening statement with 2 lines, 3 lines, or it could be a proper introduction. So from 20 seconds to 60 seconds, depending from pageant to pageant, they will tell you, okay, we need your introduction for just this many seconds, that many seconds, or 1 minute. So whatever time limit has been given to you, stick to that time limit. And the big mistake is that when you write your introduction and you read it, it may appear to be 1 minute. But when you actually deliver it with all the emotions and everything, it goes to 1.5 minutes. So you'll have to keep cutting your introduction till you actually realize that, yes, now I'm in a comfortable time zone. Otherwise, when you'll be talking with so much of information, you'll be just running. And then people will not be able to catch what you're trying to say. They need time to process every sentence you're saying. So don't be in a hurry because you have so much of stuff to say and you have to finish it in 60 seconds. So you're hurrying. No point. Have the bullet points and take your time of 1 minute, 60 seconds, 30 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever time has been allotted to you. Another mistake which I see in a lot of introduction is that a lot of people talk about very generic hobbies. I love reading, I love cooking, I love swimming. Every second person does that. So what is so special in your personality? So if you're saying dancing, be specific. I love dancing, especially belly dancing. I love sports, especially para jumping, aero modeling, whatever it is. I love cooking, especially the Indian Mughlai food. So just make sure that you pinpoint a specific hobby rather than giving a general kind of a hobby. And for heaven's sake, please don't say sleeping is my hobby. That's not a hobby. Just because you are told that tell them what do you do in your spare time and you say I like to sleep. I mean, like, everybody loves to sleep. But what productive work do you do in your spare time? And that falls into the category of a hobby. Maybe you paint, and what kind of a painting? Yes, I love painting, especially oil paints. I love painting with crayons. I love charcoal sketching. So this is specific what you're doing. That is what is required in hobby rather than giving a generic hobby. A lot of us use punchlines or jokes in introduction just to make it lighter. Okay, fine. Just make sure that your punchline doesn't hurt anyone. The joke doesn't hurt any particular person, gender, age group, ethnicity. And it shouldn't even be a PJ, which has no meaning. So be very careful if you're trying to use punchlines in your introduction. Test it with your friends before you put it in your introduction. And this brings me to the next point, which is the quotations. Everybody loves to put quotations, phrases, but whatever quotation you're putting, it should be relevant and matching to your personality of what you are saying. If you're telling them about being brave, and then you're talking about a quote which is talking about being brave, there is a match. So maybe you're talking in your introduction, you're talking about being self-dependent, and then in your introduction, when the quote comes, it's a very offline quote which doesn't reflect anything about what you said. Just because you like that quote, you want to put it. No, whatever quote you put should reflect what you have just said in your introduction. And keep it very short. Some quotes and poems are very long. Make sure that it is relevant to what you're saying. Another thing which really, really irritates the jury is preaching. We should do this and we should do that. In life, we have to do this. In life, we have to do that. If you're preaching in your introduction, that's not the kind of introduction the jury wants to hear. Instead of preaching what others should do, tell them what you do. For example, you say, I believe that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. I believe that I should do my little bit to save the planet by XYZ methods, rather than saying, people should do this and people should do that and we should do this. No, do not preach. Tell them what you practice. And that's what a role model is. And last but not the least, always, always end your introduction with a positive note. Something they carry with themselves. Something which reminds them of you, of your personality, of being a very strong person, of being a go-getter, of being somebody who's promising, of being somebody who never gives up, on being a very artistic person, on being a team person, on being a leader. Whatever impact you want to leave, that should reflect from your last line. So I hope if you keep these little mistakes away from your introduction, you will be able to make a very, very good introduction. Over the years, I have designed a lot of introductions for people. And when my students come and I tell them to prepare their introduction, I always tell them that it's always good you prepare your own introduction, because it's your words which should go into it, not mine. Because if I put my words in your introduction, you will have to memorize them. But if it comes straight from your heart and you have written it, then even if you forget something in between, you will be able to make up with your own words because you have written it. So you will be able to fill up the blanks that what comes next. I'm sure with just these little bit of tips, you will be able to help your own self. So I know my videos are long, but they are long because I try to give you as much knowledge about the subject as I can. So all the very best, happy introduction making, and I hope my video helps you to prepare a great, impressive introduction. All the best till I meet you again in my next video. God bless you and take care of yourself.